Hi everybody, this is Patrick from Sasquatch in the Wild, and I did a video about 20 minutes ago. Tried to do another one, and my iPhone said no more storage. So I had to delete all of it. So I'm breaking this section into two videos, two 15 to 20 minute videos, and this is a continuation from yesterday's video or Sunday's video. And this is where Riley and I are at the crossroads of the waterfall trail. Which way to go, right? If you haven't seen the first video, I'll try to post it above me. If not, then that finger sign was for no real good. I'll stick a picture up there so you can at least show it. So there's two trails that lead to the same place. And the trail that we took was the scenic one. The other trail is really boring. I've been on it, and it's not exciting at all. It's not even fun. But the other one was fun and exciting. So we get on the trail, and we're walking along. We're walking through rock outcroppings and forests out at Wellington Lake, and it's really pretty beautiful there. So we're going up and up along this mountain. You can see the big Castle Rock face. It's straight up to my right. We're just walking along, and Riley stops. He sniffs something. His ears tucked back. His tail tucks under, and he bolts. And he almost got away from me. And I was able to pull him back in, pick him up, and he was nervous. And I said, Riley, where is it? And his ears were twitchy. He was sniffing the air. He's looking for it. And finally, he locks onto something. And I put my face right along his line of sight, looking right down and trying to see what he's looking at. I don't see it. I am looking for mountain lions, bears, moose, coyotes, foxes. We don't have really wolves in the area. Not now, or not then. We do probably now. And I didn't see really anything else. And outside the wind and the rain going on, it was kind of consistent raining on us for like the next, I think, till the end of this video. But it was raining on us pretty well. And I was like, dude, I don't see it. And so I'd feel him relax, and he would turn, look at me, and give me a kiss. I'd put him back down the ground, and we'd go off on our merry way. We repeated this process 20 consecutive times. Like, I'd pick him up, we'd look. I would be looking. I'm looking for a threat, and I don't see it. And I'm still looking, and we would sit there, and I'd look carefully along where he's looking. I don't see it. I don't smell anything different. I don't hear anything because I can hear the wind. It's raining on us, and I hear that sound happening on my hat and on my jacket. And I was like, Riley, I just don't see it. So we start walking along. We get to a rock outcropping. The rock outcropping is this. So technically it's this pattern. Okay, that's crazy. Well, it's more like a zigzag. So it's a reverse Z. So go in, you walk in, you take a hard right, and you walk about 10 feet, and then take a hard left, right? So we're walking in, and Riley stops, and he's fixated on the smell that's right at the base where the ground meets this rock, and he's sniffing right there. He's into this. He does, and I said, "Don't run. I'm tired of this crap." So I take his leash, and I transfer it behind me, and I put it on my left hand, and I kind of loop it so I'm still holding on to him. And as I'm turning, I'm walking a little bit. I think I walked about 5 feet, and I stopped, and I looked up. What the hell? Oh, that can't be right. We've got gorillas in Colorado? No, there's no gorillas in Colorado. We've got gorillas in Colorado. Oh my God, there's gorillas in Colorado. I was like, oh my God, that is cool. And I was like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. I'm looking at a gorilla, and he is literally somewhere between 7 to 12 feet of me. That's estimated distance. Where he's close. He's really close to me. And he's sitting underneath this pine tree, and the lowest branch is like somewhere like this on him. And I'm looking at him going, what the hell? What the hell? And I'm just staring at him. Now, it's raining on us, right? And so there's water bouncing off of everything. He can't hear me coming because it's white noise to him. he doesn't smell me because the wind is blowing from him to me. So I don't smell him. There's no odor. He doesn't smell me because the wind's not carrying my odor to him. And the third thing is he's preoccupied. He's sitting down. He's really kind of relaxed. He's sitting down and his knees are going out like this. They're going out and then they're banking back in. And his feet are facing me, right? So I can see human feet. Human feet. Human feet. I can count 10 toes on his feet. 5 toes on this foot, 5 toes on this foot. And his feet are like straight on at me. They're bent like this. They're bent. And his toes are wiggling. And I sat there for the longest time going, how does he bend his feet like that and have wiggly toes? That is so weird. Now, the bottom of his feet looked like my skin. Like here. The top part of his feet was black. Black nails. Black legs. The hair that came up, like his skin tone on his feet, his face, his hands, was one shade of really dark gray, not jet black. Like if you look at a gorilla, their face, their whole body is jet black. It kind of matches, right? Unless it's a silverback, then it's a totally different ball game. But most gorillas have really dark features in the face. This guy's skin tone was a hair. It wasn't even jet black. It was like this, somewhere between the darkest gray and black, somewhere in there. So his hands are the same color, and I can see whites in the eyes. But the thing is, right off, I couldn't see whites in the eyes because there was something happening with his eyes. They were glowing under the tree, glowing. Now his feet, I'm guessing, were about somewhere between 16 to maybe 18 inches, 17, 18 in there in height. That was my guesstimate. Width, no, they were in that. Maybe about 8 to 10 inches wide. They were seriously, as the phrase goes, big feet. He had some seriously big feet. I know this is the mid-tarsal break now, but before then, I had no idea. I didn't understand why it was bent like that, and he could still wiggle his toes. I thought that was kind of bizarre. He was a big, hulky guy. So his shoulders were probably, I would say, somewhere between 4.5 feet wide. He looked like a big linebacker sitting down. And sitting down, now I stand 5 feet 10 and 3/4 inches tall. This guy sitting down is 6 feet. We're on the same plane. We're on the exact same plane. There's no elevation change between he and I. None. We're on the same plane. Okay, so his butt's on the ground. I'm standing up. He is the same height as I am. Actually, he's a little taller because his head had that conical shape. He was taller than me by about an inch, sitting down. Which doesn't make sense because if you take a tape measure out and you measure from your butt cheek to the top of your head, that's always somewhere between 3 to 3.5 feet tall, unless you're a 7 foot or 8 foot tall individual. And I've seen 2 of those people in Denver, like they must be basketball players, where I'm just doing this going, oh my God, you're pretty tall. I'm looking up like this. I'm not looking straight up. I'm looking up at him like this. And I was like, dang, you're tall. I saw him at the Cherry Creek Mall. This guy was sitting down, and he was 6 feet in height, sitting down. And what he was doing is he was ripping up grass to his right, and I hear him tearing grass. So he's ripping up grass. He's taking a bite of the tips of the grass, not the roots. I've had people telling me that they eat the roots, and I don't think they do, and there's reasons why I don't think it. Now they say, well, that's where all the vitamins are. They don't know what a vitamin is. They're chewing on this thing, they're lifting up like this, and they're releasing, right? And the grass is blowing around like this and falling into a pile between his legs. And he's doing this over here. He's ripping it up, taking a bite, and he brings it up above his head, releases it. Everything tells me gorilla. Everything here tells me gorilla. The height, the size of his arms, the size of his legs, the size of his head, everything else tells me this is not a gorilla. But you look at this guy, he looks like a gorilla. His nose is pushed in. It's smashed all the way up. and it was like flared nostrils back here. You know, it looks like a gorilla that way. And I was like, what the hell? I'm staring at this guy, just going crazy, looking as I try to absorb as much as I can out of him. And I thought, I got a camera. So I decided to take its picture. I took 4 photographs. The first 3 did not turn out at all. The flash would not fire. I could not get the flash to fire. So I had to force an issue. I had to go through a setting real quick, try to get the setting up right. And once I got the setting there, I held down the camera. I held down the button to cause the flash, and I held it. And the camera would not want to flash. I was like, God. And I kept doing this until it finally reacted to it. And the flash went off. Flash, flash. And at that moment, instead of seeing the hand doing this number, he was scratching his arm, and he put his elbows out to where his elbows were on his knees, and he was sitting like this, like a person does sometimes. And his whole body turns, and he looks at me, and he's staring at me. And I'm looking at him going, oh, that's great. I was like, well, okay. So I'm looking at him, looking at me, and I'm looking at my camera. So I'm going, head. I can see your face. I can see your eyes. They're glowing. That's kind of cool. And his eyes, when they were glowing, they would fade out. Like because it was raining on us, while it was raining, it was really still kind of dark. So both eyes were glowing strong, right? And then imagine having someone turn on a mag flashlight, put it back of your head, and your eyes will cast out light. Well, light was casting out, and it was going out about 6 to 10 inches from his face. And as the grass was blowing around, you could see the light reflecting off the blades of the grass here and there. And I was like, dang, that's cool. But when the sun came out, the eye that was closest to the tree, this eye stayed true. It stayed hard, strong. This eye faded back. So now I'm only seeing one eye glowing, and the other eye is not glowing. But once the cloud cover started coming back in, then you could see the particles in the eyes casting. So both eyes were strong again. But when it started breaking up again, the sun was coming out, and the rain was slowing down, then that eye was more exposed, and then I could see the whites in this eye, and eventually I could see the whites in that eye. Because by the time that this ended, the rain had stopped, and the warmth was kicking in. Now, my hat, like I said, it soaks up water. I didn't know this when I bought it. I wish I would have known it. And because it was soaking up water for the past 2 days I was there, it started to shrink. And it was shrinking quick. And so around my head here, it was slowly getting tight. I could feel it. I could feel it when I was with Riley. I could feel it when I was talking to this guy. Now, talking to a Sasquatch, it's a one-sided event. Don't expect a full-on, conversation. It's just not going to happen. It's just, I've never seen that, and I've been doing this since 2015. I know how you can talk with them and talk to them through hand gestures, and that's the best way that I've ever seen to do it, and that seems to work. There is a greet that I kind of fell into by accident at a camping event, and I've used the same greet whenever I see them, and they reciprocate it. And that greet is cool. It's cool to, if you do this greet and they reciprocate it, then it's a win-win. But you have to know what the greet is, and I really don't want to share that because this is something I picked up when I went through the crazy situations that they put you through, and they'll put you through it. So here I am looking at this guy, and I said, "Don't get up. It's still raining." And I put my hand out and I make this cup, and I put it out to my right, and he's watching what I'm doing. I'm not doing anything quick, no fast movements. I'm not taking my camera, taking a photograph of him again. I got the one shot. So I brought back my hand. I'm looking at it, and I said, there's still water coming down. And I poured it out. So he saw the water come out of my hands and me gesturing to him. And I said, "Don't get up." And I went, "Achoo," cough, cough. And I said, "I don't want you getting sick." And at that point, Riley comes walking past me, and he goes over here and he sits. Now, this guy's not all bent out of shape. He's not bent out of shape to kill Riley. He doesn't care about Riley. His eyes are on me. Riley is not a threat. And I look at Riley and said, hold on, Riley. And I look back at him and I said, dude, I want you to stay warm. Stay safe. Me and Riley, we're going to go down the trail this way. You have a great day. And I said, peace out. And I turned and I walked away from this guy. The whole way down, I was looking at my cell phone going, oh my God, I can't believe I photographed a gorilla. I was so excited. Now, when I started on this trail, I left the campsite at noon. I think I got to that tree about 30 minutes later. Okay, so keep track of the time frame here. But remember, I don't have a cell phone on me, so I can't tell what time it is. And we go walking down that trail. So we're coming up to where we're coming out of all the trees and rocks and stuff. And I'm still looking at the camera, right? I'm looking at it, and I'm looking behind me because I'm thinking if this is a real gorilla, he's going to come out and maybe ambush me or come up behind me or do something. And every time I look back, I didn't see him. I didn't hear him in the trees. I didn't hear anything. I thought it was just a cool thing to experience. So we start to come out, and though I can see this whole, the trees kind of slow down. There's little patches of trees to my right. There's not a whole lot of trees in this area now. There's a downed aspen that's to my direct right, and right in front, or right behind that is a boulder. The boulder is about 7 feet tall. It's 5 feet wide, and it's about 2.5 feet thick at the thickest point, I think. It's kind of a sandy, like almost like a sandstone in color, and that's what a lot of the rocks out there look like. There's grass behind it. There's nothing to stand on behind this rock. There's a bunch of baby aspens to my left, and Riley is going over that direction, and he's sniffing that spot. Now I'm going to stop this video here because this next part is going to be aired right after this. I'm going to put 2 videos up on today. So there'll be a video right after this. This is part 2A. The next one will be part 2B. And I will see you in a minute. Talk to you later.